Hello, my name is Dr. Shambles, and will be my last decklist video. In case you don't know, this week's videos are all decklists that you can play on OP13. The gameplay with these decklists are on my channel. This one it's not, but I don't know if I'm gonna bring it. Why? Because I'm just gonna be super honest with you guys. I don't like lying to you guys here in the internet. On the internet, so I'm just gonna be straight. If you're thinking about playing Purple Kata, I'm warning you, you're gonna have a bad time. He's not meant to even deal with what the meta is. The meta made a huge jump in power creep, and Katakuri cannot keep up. Obviously, he's still gonna have a top 32, top 8, whatever, win locals here and there from time to time. But overall, he's not gonna put in a lot of results. But yeah, I still love the deck a lot, and obviously I still want to give you guys a deck list that you guys can play with in OP13. I personally won't be playing him anymore, unfortunately. I need to say goodbye to this deck. It is what it is. It is a sorry goodbye. But yeah, with that out of the way, you still want to play him. It's a super fun deck, so let's get into the deck list. Now, this deck list is very much into the meta rather than having your own strategy that has consistency. This deck, although has a lot of search and now has a lot of draw thanks to pudding, even that sometimes you do break, you sometimes don't see all the pieces, so the consistency is there, but not at the same time. It's very weird to explain. But what does this deck want to do generally? You kind of just want to build some boards, build some board and search for pudding and Katakuri. Then once you reach 7 dawn, your opponent usually is at 6 dawn or more, and then you just play pudding and then play Katakuri with that pudding, and then you just start spamming board and more board, and then once you have your whole board filled, you just start swinging into your opponent, and you are a very aggro deck. So yeah, your strategy is super simple, but it's not very reliable into this meta, because a lot of this meta is leaders that have extreme defense, either in stats or in blockers or in events or all of it together, whatever. And so it's very hard for you to reach that power creep as Katakuri. But still, Katakuri can swing into those leaders most of the time, and what we're trying to do here with this deck list is, instead of trying to reach them in power, so trying to get as much powerful characters on the field as we can, we're trying to go a bit more mid-range and just overwhelm them with swings. So that's why we're relying on pudding, we're relying on Sanjin Pudding, Sparrow and Katakuri, and we're not playing the Linling, the 10 cost Linling. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So what we want to do, we usually want to go first, play pudding first turn or the event, try to search for these two, pick up whoever is the best. If you already have these two, maybe grab a Sparrow, maybe grab a Sanjin Pudding. And then next turn, 3 dawn turn, you usually want to play this pudding. This makes so that your leader effect, which is every time you swing you go down 1 dawn, and you get 6k power doing that swing, or doing that attack in this case, but you do get to look at the top of your opponent's deck. This is the most important part of the effect, because you are getting information of your opponent's hand. You're going to see what he's going to draw. And so this lets you either bait what they have in hand or to play around it. Make sure, this is the most important part of this deck. So yeah. And so pudding makes so that every time you swing and go aggro with this ability, you actually don't lose that dawn, because she just gives you the dawn back as rested. So she's very good. Then on your 5 dawn turn, you play Sparrow or Sanjin Pudding, whatever it is. Sparrow, if you swing with your leader and look at the top card of your opponent's deck, you then activate Sparrow, which then you trash 1 card, you try to guess the cost of the character, the cost of the card of your opponent's top deck, which you already know, because usually you look at it first with your leader ability, and then you get an extra dawn. You get the dawn back that you lost from your leader ability, or if you already set up the pudding, it means you're actually ramping 1 dawn with Sparrow, and you draw the card that you trash. So he's a good cycle. He's the most needed in the deck at 4 because of the cycle. You play a lot of breaks and sometimes you don't get to have active Dawn, and he gives you active Dawn and cycle, so he corrects 2 of your weaknesses, so he's very good at that. If you don't see these 2, usually maybe play a Kid, hopefully you see him. Every time you go down 1 Dawn, he gives you 1 active Dawn, so he pretty much just does Sparrow effect without the cycle, but at least you're getting an extra Dawn that you can use on events, either search or defensive events, or you can play an Anana, so he's still very good, and why is at 2k. And then finally, once you are at 7 Dawn, you play Pudding, go down 2 cards, draw 2 cards, and then usually you want to drop Katakuri. If you do not see Katakuri, even with all this search on early game, or the cycle Sparrow, you can still play Sanjin Pudding or another Sparrow. Like, you can play either of these 2, or worst case scenario, a Daifuku. Yep, Daifuku. So you're building to build a lot of boards, so at least you have that pressure on your next turn. But usually, obviously, you want to have your ace monster, ace character in this case, which is Katakuri, which is a blocker that can always swing. And every time he swings, he just restands himself and restands plus 1 character that is Big Moms, which is all of your deck except Kid. That is cost of 3 or more. So you can restand all of your swingers, because none of these can actually swing in this meta. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And yeah, pretty much next turn, what you want to do, your opponent usually is already at 8 Dawn, so you can start abusing your 2-cost Kata. You play him and then replace him by the big Kata. So instead of having to spend 7 Dawn to play Pudding and playing a Katakuri, you can just spend 2 Dawn and use the rest of the Dawn to attach to the already established board to swing into your opponent. This is where this is the way that you have to keep up with the meta, some way. This is a meta. You are not keeping up, you know, it's the cope mechanism here. So you can attach Dawn and make bigger swings, which can bait out more cards from your opponent. That's pretty much it. Then you have your events, which is not even gonna read this. This is a 5k event. If you, during your opponent's turn, if he makes a very big swing, you can rest 1 Dawn, and then if you guess the top cost of the top card of your opponent's deck, this card gives you plus 5k. But obviously, once again, you are not guessing, you're not actually guessing the cost. You're just seeing it before with your leader ability, because you can use your leader ability during your opponent's turn as well. So every time when your opponent attacks, you can actually go with -1 Dawn, look at top of his deck, and then get plus 1k during that battle. That battle only, not the turn. So yeah, then this sets up this event as online. This means even if you use leader ability and then play this right away, you make your leader go to 11k, which is really good, because a lot of the meta is chaining big bodies, and this helps you a lot at countering those very big swings. Speaking of countering those big swings, you have the Noro Beam Sword. What does this do? Since they like to chain a lot of bodies that are big, you can, if you manage to have 2 Dawn, which usually you can, because again, we are going mid-range, so that means we are not playing big bodies. So going mid-range means you have more opportunities to lift 2 Dawn up. And what does this do? You go down, you rest 2 Dawn, go -1 Dawn, and then you get 2k counter. That's not a lot of power to this meta, but this is where the strong part of this effect is. You get to rest one of your opponent's characters. Because your opponent, the meta plays a lot of blockers or a lot of big bodies, it means you can at the very least rest one of those big bodies or blockers, which helps you better to go with your aggro mid-range board. So they don't have so it protects you from a big swing, and if you're resting a blocker, it means they cannot block, they lose at least 1 block that next turn, which if you swarm the board right, it can be devastating. So that's why you're playing 2. And the rest is super explanatory. That's it. You have your 2Ks, the searchers we have talked about. Anana. Okay, we need to talk about this. Anana is for the Green Zoro matchup most of the time, but because you have Sparrow giving 1 active Dawn, or you have Kid giving 1 active Dawn, sometimes Sanji and Pudding give you 1 active Dawn if you go down 2 Dawns. So in this case, it only happens when you do the Sanji and Pudding effect. It leaves you with 1 active Dawn, which you can play Anana. This is very good into some matchups. It's very good to up your defense, because again, I'm gonna keep repeating this. The meta is chaining a lot of big bodies. This means if they swing a lot of with big bodies, you can just get a free block with her. So she's just a chump blocker, it's just to take away that big swing. So she's a little bit more defense, but she usually works best against Green Zoro, because Green Zoro does not actually rely on those big bodies, he relies on his leader swings. So he can swing with his leader twice or 3 times, and so you can use Anana to protect a body that you really want to protect, or you can protect the life if you really want to protect it from that extra swings of Zoro. So yeah. And yeah, this is the deck list. It's pretty straightforward. We don't play much more deck because the deck just doesn't work on this set. We used to play Hakai, but the meta is no longer mid-range, is top end high big bodies, as I said, so this doesn't work, and not even Ragnarok, because most of the big bodies that they play are 10 cost or more, 10 cost, sorry, not 10 cost or more, because there's not more. Or, in case of Emu, they're not even 6 costs or less, or 10 costs or whatever. They're pretty low bodies, but those bodies are just immune to KO. So we cannot play removal on this deck anymore, because purple just doesn't have any tech to remove. So yeah, sorry for the sound in the background. I don't know what that is. But yeah, I'm sorry I'm speaking very fast. I'm doing this without a script because I'm very tired. But yeah, this is the deck list that I'm gonna try. Still, no, I tried and it was the best that I got on the sim. It's very balanced. But what I mean I'm gonna try is I'm gonna see if I still try it on locals on OP13. But probably not. But yeah, if you guys want to try the deck, he's super fun. If you guys love Katakuri like me, the character, you can play either the yellow one or the purple one. I think the purple one is the most fun. So here is my deck list to give you guys some information and some hopefully inspires you to make your own deck lists and gives you some ideas. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.